So Essence recently launched quite a few products. I did order a lot of them from Ulta's website, so I thought I would try them on in today's video. I have some products that I think are meant to be potential dupes, some that have kind of replaced older Essence favorites I used to love. So I'm excited to see how they perform, how they wear. I thought I would try everything on in today's video and then use a couple of other drugstore products I'm enjoying as well. Stay tuned because I am doing another video testing out additional drugstore launches. I was just going to incorporate them in one video, but there are so many Essence products. I thought I would do like a whole separate video for Essence. I just did a video like this recently on new e.l.f. launches. So if you want to check that one out, I'll link it below. But Essence really is even more affordable than e.l.f. for the most part. Most of their products are under $10, with a lot of them being around $5 or $6. So let's get started and we'll start applying the products, see what's good, what isn't. So I do have two different base products to apply today. They are different, but I think I'm going to apply them on either side of my face just to see how makeup applies and wears throughout the day so I can kind of compare. The first one is the Jelly Grip Hydrating Primer. It is maybe supposed to be a dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip or the e.l.f. Power Grip, which is one of my all-time favorites. And I thought Essence had something like this already. I want to say it was maybe watermelon scented. This seems like a pretty thin formula. I recently tried something like this from CoverGirl as well, and that one was nice because it did provide a very light, kind of like a barely there tacky feel. And I think this one might be the same way. It did lock my makeup into place well, but it wasn't as strong as like the e.l.f. Power Grip, which I feel like is the most tacky out of any sticky or gripping primer I've tried. Again, this one's kind of similar to CoverGirl where it is a little bit thinner. It does feel very hydrating on the skin, really refreshing. Okay, it definitely went on nicely. I wouldn't say that my skin looks extra glowy by any means. In fact, it doesn't really look that much glowier than this side where I don't have any primer on. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of like a sticky feel to it, but again, not as strong as the e.l.f. primer. So it could be a good alternative if you want something a little less intense. We'll see how makeup actually applies and wears throughout the day. So on the other side, I'm actually going to use this product. This is the Magic Filter Glow Booster, which I'm assuming this is maybe the Essence alternative to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. A lot of drugstore brands have done something similar. Catrice, e.l.f., probably a few others that I'm missing. It's the shade 10 Light. So the difference between this and a lot of the other ones that I've seen is most of them actually come with like a doe foot that you dip in and you apply directly to the face. This one actually comes with a pump, which personally I don't mind because usually I do. Wow, this is a thick product. This is interesting. Definitely a different texture than the e.l.f. version or the Catrice version. It says that it perfects your complexion with a glowy finish, and you can actually wear it as foundation or under makeup. So you can wear it alone. The other brands do claim that as well, but I wonder if this one has a little more coverage because it is thicker. It definitely has a strong scent. Not a great scent, but I feel like it's already a little bit less noticeable, so I don't know that I'll really be able to smell it once it's on the skin. It does say that it provides light coverage to conceal redness and imperfections. So, I mean, it doesn't look like it has quite as much coverage as I'm applying it to the skin, but it looks gorgeous. Like it has a very glowy, very smooth finish to it. It definitely looks more radiant than this side. Obviously, these are two very, very different products and you could use them together, but today I wanted to use them side by side just to see how foundation wears on both of them. So today I am going to go in with more of a long wearing foundation just to give all of these products the best chance. This is the Catrice True Skin Foundation. I'm going to use the shade Neutral Sand. I did get a little bit of a tan. I was kind of mixing this shade with the shade 07 Cool Nude, but my face, my neck, and my chest never get tan, but my arms do get tan just because in general, I feel like even though I wear sunscreen on my entire body, if I'm wearing a t-shirt outside, my arms are showing a little bit more than like my neck and my chest, and I always have a hat on. So anyway, all of that to say, this might look a little bit darker than my face and my neck and my chest, but I feel like when you're looking at me as a whole, it matches the best. This is going on really nicely on the side that has the gripping primer on it. I'm going to apply the foundation on this side and we'll see if the glow shows through. This is more of a, well, the way that I'm applying it, it's going to be a little bit more of a full coverage finish. So I'm not anticipating that we're going to see like a ton of glow through the foundation, but we'll see if it makes a difference. Okay, so here's how the foundation is sitting on top of these products. Honestly, I do think I can see the glow from the Magic Filter Glow Booster under the foundation, especially right in this area, which is pretty good because this is a little bit more of a full coverage finish. I almost think mixing this in might be kind of ideal to add a little touch of glow to whatever product you're using it with. I really like this formula. I wasn't sure, like when I initially swatched it, if a thicker primer or no, a thicker texture was going to be ideal because I do like the thinner formulas I've tried in like this type of product, but I almost think the thicker formula could definitely come in handy. And I didn't find that I needed a ton of products. So I'm excited to keep using it. This side looks great. It went on well. I don't know if this is going to be an absolute essential for me. We'll see how the makeup looks by the end of the day. I am going to use some cream and liquid cheek products. We're going to keep the eyes very, very simple because I have a fun, colorful eyeliner I want to use. But let me apply a little bit of bronzer. This is just the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in the shade Light. By the way, I'll list all of the brushes that I used in the description box below. This first one for foundation is just the Profusion Buffing Foundation brush. For bronzer, I'm also using an e.l.f. brush. This is the Complexion Duo brush. This bronzer is a little bit orangey, so I'm going to go in and apply it, and then I'm going to apply blush, and I'll do concealer afterwards and kind of clean up all of the edges. So I'm not going to be too precise as I apply the bronzer initially. I just want to warm up the skin. And I am going to go in with powder and set everything into place. So once I do that, this will fade a little bit too. But I've been enjoying concealer after cream or liquid bronzer and blush, just because I feel like you don't have to be quite as precise. You can kind of throw on the bronzer, throw on the blush, and then use the concealer to clean it up and kind of tone it down. I actually haven't used this bronzer in a little while. This is like my all-time favorite formula, but I have been using the LYS Beauty one, and that one is so nice too. Very long wearing and just basically melts into the skin. And I've also been on a big powder bronzer kick this summer, but I love this formula so much. It's just effortless, stays in place well. I don't have any complaints about it. It's maybe a little bit more warm tone than I would really love, but again, I'll tone it down a little bit once I set everything into place. I do have the new liquid cheek products from Essence. They didn't do a liquid bronzer, but they did do the Baby Got Blush liquid blushes and then also the Baby Got Glow liquid highlighters. I think I'll save highlighter for the very end of the video and kind of use that as a finishing touch. But for blush, I got the shade Dusty Rose. It does have a little sponge tip applicator, so you could apply it that way, but I just want to apply it to the back of my hand. When I was reading about this online, it was described as like a very sheer, very light buildable formula, which is actually my kind of blush. The issue with a lot of liquid blushes for me is that they're pretty pigmented and they dry down fast, so I feel like you have to work quickly to blend them out. And then I might end up applying a little bit too much. This does have a little bit of a satin finish to it once it dries down and you blend it in, but overall I think it is going to be pretty sheer, very, very natural and not too glowy. So I'm just going to apply a little bit to the back of my hand, and this is the Real Techniques Tapered Cheek Brush, which is my absolute favorite brush for both liquid and cream blushes. It just applies them so nicely. Ooh, I already know that I like this formula. As long as it doesn't like completely erase my foundation, I've had a hard time finding a little bit more of a subtle a subtle liquid blush. I feel like most liquid blushes are so pigmented, which can be really nice too if that's what you typically go for. But I am definitely more of a subtle blush fan. Like that's it. It's already blended in. I didn't even cut that clip or anything. It was just me blending and talking, and I feel like that is perfect. It looks smooth on the skin. There's like the perfect amount of pigment for me. I think you probably could build this up a little bit, but honestly, like that is perfect. I am so excited about this formula. Don't get me wrong, there are liquid blush formulas I really like. You just have to be a little bit more careful as you're applying them if you do prefer more of a sheer finish. It didn't erase my foundation underneath. It's not too glowy. It doesn't dry down to be like a flat matte. It really is like my perfect formula. I'm so, so happy with this. I'm curious to know how it layers over powder, so I will try that next time I wear it. But honestly, I feel like it looks so fresh, so good. I'm going to take a little bit of concealer. This is just from Catrice. It's their True Skin Concealer in the shade Cool Cashmere. Again, one of my favorite formulas, very hydrating, very comfortable, pretty good coverage. I don't want to completely erase the blush, and I feel like I just blended it a little bit too high. But wow, that blush is so stunning. The only thing about the blush is I hope it doesn't fade too quickly because it is a little bit more of a subtle formula. I could maybe see that happening. I'm just taking a little bronzer on my nose. Too much. Just going to go back over it with the concealer brush before I go in and set everything with powder. Okay, I'm really happy with how the base is looking. To set the under eye concealer into place, I'm just going to take this Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder and place that directly under my eye. It looks pretty bright initially, but once it kind of, fully sets into place, I feel like it just gives a little bit of a bright effect without being too intense. But I love this formula. This is not a new product from Essence. It's been a summertime staple for me though, because it is so smoothing. If you have large pores or fine lines or any texture in this area, this product is really nice. So I usually use this for like the very center of my face. And then I might take like a larger fluffy brush and use a different powder for the rest, just to lightly set the rest of the products into place too. But this is the area where I tend to get the most oily and where everything really wears off. So I like to set that pretty well initially. For the rest of my face, I'm just going to take a very, very small amount of the Essence 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation. This one's in the shade Cashew. Now this is pretty customizable. Did I just break it? I thought I broke the packaging. I'm just going to use a very tiny amount. Like I barely dipped my brush in, just to lightly set the rest of my skin. And this is a really beautiful product because it has a really nice smoothing effect to it. So you can really build this up if you want more coverage, and it will definitely give it to you. But it's also nice as a setting powder because it just smooths over the skin in a very natural, very soft way. For the brows, I'm just going to go in with the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel and fill them in. I'll just kind of speed through this part because I do the same thing in most of my videos. So here's how my brows look with the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel, and then I'm just going to take the Milani Weekend Brow and lightly fill them in just to define them a little bit more. Okay, brows are done. I do have a new lip product I forgot I wanted to try out. It's the Super Balm Glossy Lip Treatment. It's supposed to provide up to 10 hours of hydration. I kind of feel like this could be a good alternative to the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm, which is actually one of my favorite products. I just took off the lip oil. This is supposed to have a glossy finish. Okay, it smells like vanilla. It does have a little bit of a different texture than the Too Faced Pillow Balm. This does have shea butter, vitamin E. It definitely has that like liquefied lip balm texture. I don't know, I'm kind of on like a thicker lip oil kick these days. I also like thinner lip oils. I haven't been wearing glossy, balmy products like this as lip treatments as much. Initially, I think I still like the Hydra Kiss lip oil a little bit better as like a pre-lip treatment as I'm doing my makeup, and then I'll usually take it off and apply my lip product because it just moisturizes so well. This is thinner, so I don't know if it's going to be quite as nourishing, but we'll see. I'm going to keep the eyes so incredibly simple. I'm just taking this shade from the e.l.f. I Love You a Latte Quad on a crease brush, and I'm just going to blend this into the crease, and then I'm going to take a shimmery or full-on metallic Super Shock shadow from ColourPop and place that all over the lid. So literally just like a 2-minute eye look, because I do want the main focus of the eyes to be the colorful liner I'm going to be using. Now I'm just taking the lightest shade and blending that up into the brow bone just to brighten things up in that area. A little bit more of that brown, just kind of focusing it right in the crease to define that area slightly, but nothing too over the top, just a very small amount. Because again, I want like a pretty simple look. I just want the focus to be on the eyeliner I'm going to be using. Okay, let me do the same thing on the other eye and I'll be right back. For the lid, I'm just going to be using the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Ritz. This has been like one of my go-to looks this summer. It's so easy, but I feel like it looks so pretty with no matter what type of makeup you're what am I trying to say? With no matter what products you're using on the rest of your face, like this look just goes. Whether you're doing like very simple makeup, very full coverage, full glam makeup, it's just a very simple eye look, but I feel like it looks really, really pretty. Okay, the only non-drugstore product I don't have on hand right now is a black pencil liner. I can't find mine. I know that I have a couple. I was just sharpening all of them the other day, and I feel like maybe I put them in a different part of my makeup collection. But this is just the Too Faced Killer Liner in black. So I'm just going to use this. I don't want to poke my eye. I'm just going to use this to tightline. So this is the Extra Long Lasting Eyeliner Pen. I think I talked about the two newest Essence eyeliner pen launches in a recent video. I'm pretty sure I did. I kind of feel indifferent about them. I don't think they are like the most amazing liners out there. They're definitely not bad. They last pretty well. They did this one and then they did another one that I think is supposed to be like extra sharp. I forget the exact name, but I like them both equally. I feel like there really isn't a big difference between the two. When you swatch them, they do kind of bleed on the hand, but once you apply them to the eyes, there's really no issue. They go on super easily. I'm just going to take a little bit of the shadow I used in my crease and run that on the lower lash line. I have to say, one thing I do really love about this liquid liner though is the fact that it is so dark and dramatic. Before I do eyeliner, I do have a new mascara. So the shape of this kind of reminds me of the Essence Lash Princess, which is one of my favorites. This one is the Call Me Queen Dramatic False Lash Effect Mascara. It even has the same description. Instead of just false lash effect mascara like Lash Princess, this one is dramatic false lash effect. So it's supposed to give volume and length. It's supposed to be easy to apply, and then it has an elastomer brush that's supposed to reach even the shortest of lashes, and they say it's easy to build. So that all around sounds like a great mascara. Essence mascaras can be a little bit hit and miss for me. Like when I love it, I really love it. Like the Lash Princess line, I've loved that line for years. And then their new Lash Without Limits mascara is so good. I have the brown one and the black one. But sometimes I don't have the greatest luck with their mascaras. Honestly, I can't tell how I feel about this initially. Usually I know immediately if I'm going to like something. The brush is so bendy. Like, see how flexible that is? I almost feel like it's too bendy, so it's not firm enough that it's coating my lashes well, because when I really like push the brush onto my lashes, it almost bends a little bit too much. But at the same time, I do feel like it is enhancing more lashes. Like it really is grabbing onto every single lash. I just feel like it's kind of hard to build and it's hard to coat them well. Okay, I really don't think I love this mascara. I have two coats on my lashes and I really feel like it doesn't look that dramatic. I like a good dramatic mascara. I don't feel like there is a ton of volume. There really isn't a lot of length at all. The bristles, they do grab onto the lashes well. Like I feel like I have a good amount of lashes that are coated with mascara, but it's very hard to build this up. My lashes have been drying for a little while, so I almost feel like maybe I need to let them dry before I go in to try to layer it up. But the wand is maybe a little bit too flexible. I'm just not getting a ton of volume or a ton of length. Okay, third coat is a lot better. I mean, you can see the difference between this side and this side. This side has the third coat. This mascara, you're going to have to let it pretty much dry between coats instead of just going in and layering it up. That looks a lot better. There's still not a ton of volume, but there's definitely length and separation. So I think the key to this one is maybe letting it fully dry down between coats. Let me just finish up with the third coat on the other eye and then I'll be right back. Okay, I just had to clean up my eyes a little bit because I did get mascara all over my lids trying to build this up. That was just my fault. I feel like I was trying to really work it into the lashes. So my opinion changed on this between the second and third coats. This is the type of mascara you're going to have to let dry for a good amount of time between coats, and then you're able to build it a little bit more. I still don't see a ton of volume with this one, but I did get a good amount of length, which is nice if that's what you're looking for. And it also separated the lashes really well. So after the first two coats, I just took the wand and kind of focused it on the ends. And I feel like that added, or just kind of stretched them a little bit more. All around, not the most dramatic mascara I've ever tried, but I'm curious to know how this is going to apply after it dries out for maybe about a month. I still think that I prefer the new Lash Without Limits. This isn't brand new at this point. This is also meant to be a lengthening and volumizing mascara. I think this one's a little bit easier to build initially and even as it starts to dry out, whereas this one was kind of difficult. I just think the wand is maybe a little bit too flexible, and this is flexible, but I don't know. The shape of this one wasn't the easiest to use for me personally, but I do like the finished result. We'll see if it actually lasts or it tends to flake or smudge throughout the day. Now for the waterline, I actually got this eyeliner. I thought this would be so pretty. It's the Meta Glow Duochrome eyeliner in the shade. I got the shade Chromefinity. So there are 3 different shades. I did swatch this yesterday. I don't know. I don't know if I would, yeah, actually, as I was tilting it to hold my hand up, I definitely saw the Duochrome come into play. So I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera. Like, depending on the way I switch my hand, it goes from like blue to purple. I feel like it's hard to see on camera because the purple almost disappears when I move my hand, but there definitely is a duochrome factor to this. So I thought this would be really fun on the waterline, just as like a pop of color for something a little bit different. Actually, I don't know if it's going to show up on my waterline that well. I might need to blend it on the lower lash line a little bit. It's not quite as vibrant on the waterline. Let me try layering it over a nude. All right, I laid down a very light, bright nude on this side, almost white, and I feel like maybe this will show up a little bit better on top of that. That didn't really make a difference. In fact, I feel like it looks better on the side without the nude liner. So let me just take this off really quick. Honestly, I'm disappointed by that. It doesn't look bad. It's just not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I've seen some really gorgeous like duochrome eyeliners online. I think maybe is it Danessa Myricks who has multi-chrome liners, maybe some other indie brands. And this one just looks a little bit underwhelming. So I might have to try another brand if you have any good recommendations. Let me just apply some mascara to my lower lashes and then we'll move on. Okay, so to finish up, I'm just going to take a very small amount of powder bronzer. This is from e.l.f. It's just the Primer Infused bronzer in the shade Tan O'Clock. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this before I go in. I am actually going to go in with a little bit of powder blush. Honestly, that liquid blush is holding up well. I don't know, I'm kind of hesitant to use it because I love the way the makeup is looking. It's the new Essence Blush Crush. So this comes in a couple different shades. I got the shade Caramel Latte. I also got like a really beautiful coral that did come crushed. This is a very soft formula. So I mean, mine wasn't packaged the best. It was in bubble wrap, but I think there was like a foundation bottle in there with it as well. Or you know what? I think it was this product, which is like a heavier glass bottle. But look how pretty that looks. It is so glowy, incredibly smooth. This color in particular is like a bronzer, rosy toned blush highlighter all in one. Like it is very, very glowy. I personally love a good glowy cheek product. I'm going to take a very, very small amount of this and apply it on the cheek. I feel like you could probably go overboard with this, not because it's overly pigmented, but just because it's so glowy. I feel like if you don't love like a very glowy highlighted look, it might be too much. Wow, that looks pretty. Okay, so it's not adding a ton of color because I'm nervous to go in with too much. I just don't want to end up with too much blush on today, but it makes the skin look glowy and okay, that is so pretty. I don't think my camera is even doing this justice. Like it makes your skin look like it's glowing, like a lit from within glow. When I swatched this on my hand, I was like, ooh, that might be even just a little bit too glowy for me. And I like a good glowy blush, but on the skin, it's a little bit more subtle, or maybe just because I'm going in with a lighter hand, like it definitely looks glowy, but it has like this healthy, natural glow to it. Very pretty, a little bit more subtle than I thought it was going to be based on the color in the pan, which for me is nice. If you do tend to prefer more of a pigmented blush, where you like a little bit more color, I mean, you could build it up, but even if I build it up on my hand, like as I'm swatching it, it doesn't really get a lot darker. It just gets glowier. It's obviously hard to say if that will be the case with all of the shades because I only have the one. The other one that I got was so crushed, I didn't attempt to put it back together because like all the powder had spilled out. It just made an absolute mess. So I probably will end up ordering another shade eventually, or if they come to stores, I will go out and check them, or I will go and check them out in person. Okay, so I am going to add a little bit of highlight. This is the Baby Got Glow liquid highlighter, and I got the shade Sassy in Silk. So I'm curious to know if this is going to be the same as the blush, where it's a little bit more subtle. It's very thin, very silky. Yeah, I think this is going to be so perfect if you do prefer a little bit more of a subtle highlight. I'm always hesitant with like products that come with a wand to go in with them directly on the skin, but I almost feel like because these are so lightweight, I probably could, but I usually just put them on the back of my hand first and then use my hands or a brush. This is so pretty. I feel like these are going to be my favorite liquid products because they are more on the subtle side. And you know what? I have a lot of product on my skin. I have foundation, powder, cream blush, or no, liquid blush, powder blush. Like I have a lot on here and it's not lifting any of the product underneath. So I did pick up two of the new Slim Stick long-lasting lipsticks. I have Chocoholic and then I also have Over the Nude. I really like Essence lipsticks. And ooh, these are incredibly creamy. The pink one is over the nude, and then this one is Chocoholic. I'm definitely going to use Chocoholic, but wow, these are creamy, very smooth. I don't think they're going to be like no transfer lipsticks because they are so incredibly creamy, but I do feel like they'll be very comfortable. I'm just going to line my lips with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Cool BFF, which I think is going to be pretty close to that Chocoholic shade. And this lip liner will ensure that the lipstick stays in place a little bit better because it is so incredibly creamy. I feel like it definitely needs a lip liner underneath. And then I'm going to take the Chocoholic shade and apply that right on top. I do like the shade. I don't know if it fully goes with the look. It might be a little bit too too cool toned. So let's take a little bit of the shade over the nude, which is the pinkier one. I don't know. Are these too light for today's look? I feel like I need a touch of color. This is the Hydra Kiss Lip Oil in the shade, why do I always forget these? Pink Champagne. I wear these all the time and I can never remember the shade names. Yeah, that helps. I'll obviously wear the lipstick on its own so I can keep you posted on how long it actually wears. I'll do an upcoming speed review style video where I review all of these products in depth, but I am so happy with this look. Let me just kind of clean up a little bit, gather my thoughts, and then I'll come back and share my absolute favorite products from today's video. Okay, so in the end, I love the way the look came together. I feel like it's very fresh, very pretty for summertime, and I really think the products in the end look really good on the skin. I'm excited to use the Magic Filter even more. Definitely one of the best products I tried today. The side that I have this on, which is this side, definitely looks glowier than this side. I'm going to wear these products alone, together, just test them out a little bit more and then come back and do a full review for you. But I feel like this product is different than the other glowy base products on the market. So I'm excited to see how it pairs with other products I use it with. The other standout products for me were definitely the liquid blush and liquid highlighter. These look so good on the skin. Very natural, very fresh. They didn't lift any of the makeup underneath once I applied them to the skin. And for me, that is such a big pro when it comes to liquid products because I have a lot of issues with liquid products completely erasing my base products or my foundation underneath. These are amazing. I think if you tend to prefer more pigment, I would probably skip over them. But if you do love a little bit of a softer look, these could be a great option and I can't wait to wear them even more. I definitely want to order some additional shades of the Blush Crush. Essence has always made some of my favorite blush formulas. Keep in mind, these are very, very soft. And if you have trouble with products coming broken from Ulta like I do, it might not be ideal to order online. I don't think these hit stores yet. I haven't been to my Ulta in, I want to say it's been like a few months. I usually order online. So I'm actually going to head in stores soon and see which new drugstore products they have, maybe film like a TikTok or an Instagram or a YouTube short. But I am glad that this one came intact because it is really gorgeous. I feel like it is a summertime staple. We'll see about the lipsticks. They're really nice. I just don't know how long lasting they're actually going to be. But if you pair them with a really good long-lasting lip liner, that might not be a big deal because they are so comfortable. So I feel like during the fall, when I tend to reach for shades like this a little bit more, fall and winter, these will definitely become staples for me. Definitely not a big fan of the Meta Glow Duochrome Eye Pencil. I'm going to try this on my upper lash line and see if I have better luck, but I just feel like it's kind of underwhelming. Maybe it's coming off better on camera. I don't know. I've just seen some really gorgeous swatches of duochrome eyeliners and multi-chrome eyeliners. So I feel like this one, I think a piece of it just broke off and it's not actually connected to anything in the tube. So I don't know. Like I said, I've just seen better swatches online. So I think if there is another brand you recommend, I would love to try it out. But even though this one's affordable, it's just underwhelming. And then, like I said, I'm not completely sold on the mascara yet. We'll see how it is once it dries out after a week or two, and maybe even longer than that. I just don't want to have to work super hard to get a mascara to work for me, especially because Essence has so many good mascaras already, but it's not a complete fail. We'll see about this one. I know I tried a few other products, but those are definitely the standout products, both the good and the bad. So again, stay tuned. In a few weeks, I'll come back and do a full roundup. And then I'm planning on doing another video within the next few days, testing out other drugstore makeup from different brands. So if you like drugstore related content, I film a ton of drugstore videos on my channel. I would love for you to subscribe and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.